Welcome to my channel, Military Comebacks. Today I'm sharing a story meant to reach deep into your heart. It's about a young girl from a quiet American town who dared to dream of flying when the world told her she couldn't. A story of courage, sacrifice, and a dream that went on to inspire a nation. So take a breath, settle in, and listen closely, because this is a story that lingers long after the final words. In a small town in Kansas, surrounded by endless wheat fields, lived a girl named Emily Parker. She grew up in a modest wooden house where life moved slowly and simply. Nights were filled with the sound of crickets. Mornings carried the smell of oil drifting from her father's tiny garage. And above it all stretched an endless sky that seemed to have no limits. Every evening, Emily would race out to the open fields near her home to watch fighter jets roar across the clouds from the nearby Air Force Base. While other kids were busy with games or glued to their phones, she stood, barefoot in the dirt, eyes locked on the sky. Her heart would race as each jet passed, carving silver trails through the blue. Under her breath, she would whisper, "One day, I'll be up there too." Her father, Mark Parker, worked as a car mechanic, juggling 2 jobs just to keep food on the table. Her mother, Linda, was a nurse who came home late most nights, smelling of coffee and hospital disinfectant. Life wasn't easy, but their home was rich with love. Some evenings her father would sit beside her on the porch, stars glowing overhead, and point to the sky. "Emily," he'd say, "those jets don't fly because they're fearless. They fly because they're brave." She'd smile and reply, "Then I guess I'll have to be brave too, Dad." When Emily turned 16, she told her parents she wanted to apply to the United States Air Force Academy. Her mother froze at the sink, hands still wet. Her father sighed deeply and said, "Emily, pilots go through hell." She met his eyes calmly and answered, "I'm not afraid of hard things." At school, classmates laughed. One boy sneered, "You can't even handle a roller coaster." Another joked, "You'll quit the first time someone yells at you." Emily never argued. She just smiled quietly and worked harder than ever. She picked up shifts at a local diner, wiping tables and pouring coffee until midnight, saving every dollar for application fees and medical exams. Many nights, she studied until exhaustion pulled her asleep at the counter. Her mother would gently wake her, brushing her hair back and whispering, "You have my heart, child." On weekends, Emily ran 5 miles before sunrise through empty streets, cold wind burning her lungs. She never stopped. Her dream kept her moving. When the acceptance letter arrived, it came in a white envelope stamped with the seal of the United States Air Force. Her hands trembled as she opened it. "Congratulations, you have been selected for admission to the United States Air Force Academy." Tears streamed down her face. Her father hugged her so tightly she could barely breathe and whispered, "Go make the sky proud, Emily." Life at the academy was harder than anything she'd imagined. The training was brutal, the days long and unforgiving. Some cadets mocked her, calling her too soft, too slow, too emotional. Emily stayed quiet. She woke earlier than everyone else, ran farther, trained longer, and studied deeper. When others cracked under pressure, she stayed focused. One day after a punishing flight simulation, her instructor, Captain Wilson, pulled her aside. "Flying is easy, Parker," he said. "Staying calm when the world is on fire, that's what makes a real pilot." She carried those words with her. The first time she took control of a real jet, she failed. The landing was rough, and instructors shook their heads. Emily didn't quit. She spent nights alone in the simulator, repeating the same maneuvers while others slept. She memorized every switch, every warning light, every sound. When she flew again, her landing was flawless. Control tower went silent before the instructor's voice came through, steady and clear. "Smooth landing, Cadet Parker. Welcome to the sky." Years later, Emily graduated at the top of her class. She earned the call sign, Sky Angel. Calm under pressure, sharp and disciplined, she became one of the youngest female fighter pilots in her unit. Her first real mission came 2 years later over the Pacific. Intelligence warned of a hostile explosive-laden drone heading toward a U.S. naval convoy. Raider caught it late, and Emily's jet was the closest. "Sky Angel, you're up," Command ordered. "Stop that drone before it reaches the convoy." Storm clouds swallowed the sky, lightning tearing through the darkness. Rain hammered against her canopy as her jet cut through the air. Her heart pounded, but her breathing stayed slow and steady. The radar blipped small, fast-moving. "I've got visual," she said calmly. "Lock and engage." The first missile missed. The second hit dead center, exploding like daylight in the storm. But debris tore through her right wing, rupturing. A fuel line. Alarm screamed. Fuel was leaking. "Altitude dropping. Sky Angel, eject," Captain Wilson shouted. Through the windshield, Emily saw lights below. An island community, hundreds of innocent lives. The burning wreckage was falling straight toward them. If she ejected now, people would die. She took a deep breath and whispered, "Not today." Smoke filled the cockpit as oxygen warnings flashed red. She forced the jet forward, dragging the flaming debris away from the island. The controls shook violently, but her hands stayed firm. The jet climbed until the mountains vanished beneath the clouds. Then the engine died. Silence, her final words, captured by the black box, were soft and steady. "Tell my family I love them." Rescue teams searched for 2 days. Wreckage was found. Scattered across the sea? Her helmet floated among the debris, but her body was never recovered. The convoy was safe, the island untouched. When the news reached the mainland, the nation fell silent. Her photo filled every screen. Captain Emily Parker, age 27, United States Air Force. Lost in action while saving hundreds, her hometown church overflowed. The same people who once doubted her now wept openly. Her parents sat in the front row holding her pilot wings. Her mother whispered through tears, "You made it, baby. You really made it." At the base, jets roared overhead in the missing man formation. Captain Wilson spoke with a trembling voice. "Emily Parker didn't just fly. She showed us what courage looks like. When the world burns, heroes don't run, they fly straight into the fire." She was awarded the Medal of Honor. Her name was etched into the Hall of Heroes. Training hangar at the Air Force Academy was renamed the Parker Wing. Beneath her portrait, new cadets read the words, "Dreams don't need permission, only courage." Months later, Red Father received a letter Emily had written before her final deployment. "Dear Mom and Dad, if you're reading this, it means I'm flying higher than ever. Please don't cry. I didn't do this to be remembered. I did it because I love this country, and because every little girl should know she can reach the sky. Keep looking up. That's where I'll be." They framed the letter and hung it in her room. Nothing was changed. Her perfume still lingered. Sometimes her mother sat there, gazing out the window, whispering, "My daughter made the heavens." Proud. Each year on the anniversary of her last flight, jets thunder over her hometown. Children gather in the fields, waving flags and shouting, "There she is!" And in those moments, Emily isn't gone, she's still flying. Her story spread across America. Young girls applied to the Air Force in record numbers. Recruiters called it the Parker Effect. Murals appeared in schools. Her story was taught in classrooms. At the Air Force Academy, a massive mural shows her jet climbing through storm clouds. Words beneath it reading, "She didn't fall, she ascended." Years later, Captain Wilson retired. Emily's flight badge hung framed on his wall. He would look at it and whisper, "You did it, kid." Then he'd step outside, gaze at the horizon, and say softly, "Fly high, Sky Angel, fly high." Emily Parker's legacy lives on not in medals or monuments, but in every heart brave enough to dream big. Because real heroes don't chase glory. They do what's right, no matter the cost. Remember her name? Emily Parker, the Sky Angel of America? Heroes like her never truly die. They live in the wind, in the roar of engines, and in the hearts of those who believe courage can change the world. If this story touched you, like, comment, and subscribe to Military Comebacks. Because here, every story reminds us that heroes aren't born in comfort, they're born in courage, and they live forever in the sky.